Oktoberfest!
Before this video begins, I want to keep this in mind that when he says, he'll say wolf, or I'm going to be showing pictures of foxes. So for the sake of this, just pretend that he said fox instead of wolf, because that's going to be showing. So, with all that said,
we need to start things off with having a little lecture. This is a wolf. It gets around on 4 legs, it lives in the wild, and it hunts other animals to survive. This is also a wolf, except that it walks on 2 legs, it lives in the suburbs, and it has a day job. They are both wolves, but one is an animal, and the other is a person. Now, which one of these wolves do you think would be able to make references and jokes based on the world we humans know? That's right, it's the human-like wolf that gets to do those kind of jokes, while the feral wolf primarily worries about how it's going to get its next meal.
this is the best opening that I can think of right now. It's mostly show the difference of anthropomorphic animals, of which acts like a human, which acts like an animal. Now, with all that said, let's start the video. Released in 2016, Zootopia became a worldwide phenomenon, ranking around $1 billion at the box office, making Zootopia the second animated movie by Disney, an original one, to reach $1 billion. And this was released at a time where Disney released making banger after banger. Films like Tangled, Wreck-It Ralph, the aforementioned Frozen, the disappointing Big Hero 6 that I actually like, and Moana. But before Moana closed off the chapter, Zootopia was the one. And to me, Zootopia was really one of those movies that deserves more recognition than it gets. But now, it was announced that it will be getting a sequel back in 2023. But before it got that, it was actually announced way earlier than we've actually gotten. You see, in Animat's, cartoon cast, before his Animat's crazy cartoon cast, he was a part of the animation podcast hosted by Filmbook. And this video was released around August 27th, 2017, the year where Coco was released. I said the year, I didn't say the month. Anyways, in this video, one of the voice actors who voices the rhino in Zootopia announced that Zootopia will be getting a sequel. And I was at disbelief, because if Zootopia is getting a sequel, Inside Out should have a sequel as well. Lo and behold, years later, we officially got one. And now Zootopia is getting the next turn. I was hoping that Zootopia could get a sequel in the same year as Inside Out 2, but unfortunately, the Wayfinder has managed to find its way. I'm not offended, but now we're back at square one. Since Moana's getting a sequel, Coco should have a sequel. Though, honestly, that will be that's a story for another day. So, what's the movie is about? Well, originally it's supposed to star Nick Wilde, the fox. But because they wanted to sell the message, they made Judy the rabbit as the main character. Which to me is a smart move, where we actually get a computer animated film that stars a rabbit as the main character. But back to the point, it stars Judy Hopps that want to become a police officer in Zootopia, to join the ZPD. I actually don't know. I know what the Z stands for, and the P stands for police, but the D, I think it stands for department, but I could be wrong. Anyways, she wants to become a police officer. As Judy as Judy went to the police officer for the very first time, things weren't that easy, where she had to encounter the same fox I showed earlier, and now she's on a case to find this missing otter. Since Judy has no choice but to team up with Nick, a fox that pretty much knows everything in Zootopia, they have to force a team up to find the missing otter and find out what's going on in the city of Zootopia. The one thing I do like about Zootopia is that it really feels into the woke area. Plus, the main protagonist does sell the message where you don't judge a book by its cover, because not everything is exactly what it seems. In fact, that's what I like about the sequel. I mean, the first film. My bad. I don't usually write scripts, but that's besides the point. The one thing I do like about Zootopia is that how influential it can be. Is it influential? I don't think it is, but it really is something that I like to put out. When looking at the character designs and animations, they're really top notch. It's like as if this film should be made by Pixar, but Pixar didn't make it. Disney did. Which kind of boggles my mind, but I will give an excuse. Since I really did like the movie, it was inevitable that a sequel would happen. Now, let us start my thoughts on the trailers. Yes, all 3 trailers. Even though I won't go full on in depth, I will try my best to give you full on information. Also, I'll also be doing a clip from D223 for absolutely free. Now let's start. Starting with the teaser, both Judy and Nick has already gotten new outfits. Judy now ditching the police uniform, now with a more casual outfit, since I prefer, since she's not always on duty. And Nick Wilde decided to replace a chartreuse Hawaiian shirt to a pink Hawaiian shirt. Well, I'm usually against pink, because against those males wearing pink, because it just doesn't sit right. Then again, Timmy is a male and he wears something pink. Patrick Star is a pink starfish, and it's very clear that he's a male. Kirby himself, the pink puffball that actually looks like a rubber ball and gumball, that is, even though it looks cute, Kirby is actually a he. The inflatable bunny costume that I happen to own is pink. So really, I shouldn't get mad at Nick wearing something that is pink, or something that is not male color oriented. Oh, and embarrassment, the pink emotion is, well, he's pink. Sorry, I forgot. Back to the main subject, along with the other main characters, one of the newest characters in the mix is Gary the Snake. This is the first time ever where they introduce a reptile in Zootopia, which is what I like out of the sequel, once it comes out. World development. Are there reptiles in this world? What about the birds? Or the amphibians? Is there more than just mammals? What's more could be in this world? And as you can see from this teaser, in this teaser, both Judy and Nick are carrying Gary, because Gary is literally on the run. Chasing away from the cops. You see the cops right here? He's like a full-on wanted criminal, even though it wasn't intentional. One of the newer locations is where it takes place with sea creatures. Well, more like mammals that live near the sea, or live the ocean, or live the water. You know what I mean. And this is one of the first returning locations where it takes place. We're going back to the snowy locations. And then beyond it, we go into the mountains, location that we haven't been explored, and one of the recurring locations from before that now has a bigger role, being the desert. Of course, we have the shadowy figure, which Zootopia's doing this again. Another twist villain. Gee, I sure hope that won't end off very badly. This is actually one of the very rare teaser trailers where you actually don't see what's in the film whatsoever, or you don't actually see some clips of the film. This is more reminiscent of, well, other teaser trailers, namely the teaser trailers from earlier Pixar films, like The Incredibles. One of them is an earlier Pixar film that doesn't show the movie clips and just show what's in and what's exclusive to the teaser. Other films following the same lines are Monsters Inc. with the interaction of Mike and Sully. Finding Nemo also follow the same format. While Marlin's name wasn't even introduced to the tease, he is just referring as father. Cars, Wall-E, Ratatouille, Up, Cars 2, Brave, Monsters University, Toy Story 3, and Toy Story 2, and the one that started it all, A Bug's Life. Yes, I know Toy Story had a teaser trailer, but that's showing clips from the movie, so really this one is the first of its kind of original teaser trailers. And speaking of that film, this will not be the last time I'll be mentioning that film. Moving on to the official trailer, it shows both Judy and Nick in partner therapy. Run by Dr. Fuzzby, the first ever Quokka character in the field of animation. Seriously, her design is so cute, it actually makes us wish that Quokkas actually appeared in animation before this year. Both Judy and Nick are pretty much saying, well, mostly Judy for this matter, is in therapy, because something tells me that even though they became the best cops, their relationship is just not going as planned. Dr. Fuzzby later calls Judy how she herself has flaws, but you might think that she's the only problem here. Well, Nick is not off the hook either, since he too didn't speak and letting Judy all the talking. Yeah, something tells me their relationship will have some bumps. So, in the original teaser that I just showed you, Gary is seen as a criminal, or at least a suspect, as you wish. You might be wondering why. Well, if we go to the final trailer, we'll get to that point. As Judy and Nick are trying to brush it off, saying, "We're the greatest partners, we can make this work." And then, see that scene right there in this clip? Before this mole got shut in by the soda? It says, "Crush the bugs." If that doesn't remind you of anything, maybe this refresh your own mind. Yeah, since It's Tough to Be a Bug was replaced by a new Zootopia attraction, considering the fact that since A Bug's Life has been replaced by Zootopia, which has been referenced by The Simpsons with A Bug's Death Exterminators, and then in Toy Story 2, where A Bug's Life 2 could be happening, even though I already did the video, they actually made a joke that that A Bug's Life 2 didn't happen, but instead Toy Story 2 happened. And then once they question what is this, Buzz Lightyear appears. You know, A Bug's Life cannot really catch a break. No matter how much the film will try, it will always get the shorter end of the stick. This horse you see right here is Mayor Dancer, played by Patrick Warburton, and I will gonna show him again in the second trailer. But I'm gonna say this for now: please do not make him a twist villain. We don't want another Bellwether situation again. One of the shrew that Judy saves, which happened to be the daughter of Mr. Big, has her own daughter now. very nice. Yeah, don't expect. Yeah, I'm not expecting to have play a bigger role. I think I am. I'm expecting, but not by much. But you know what I mean. Near the end of the first trailer, we get to see Nick and Judy taking a page out of The Bad Guys, where you can see both Mr. Wolf and Diane Foxton were actually wearing something fancy for the whole dancing in the mall, with Zootopia taking the same page out of it, as if like the bad guys like Zootopia, the bad guys 2 being all like Zootopia and Zootopia 2 being all like Sing, where two share similar stuff. But that's merely coincidental if you ask me. Now, compared to the first one, this is a huge improvement of the teaser. Like the teaser, it doesn't show everything, it shows what's gonna be in the film whatsoever. And that's what I like. They show you what's gonna be in the film, but don't show just enough to spoil the ending. And they still have yet to show who's that shadowy figure here. That's a huge improvement. Now into the D23 trailer, we introduce a new character that is not Gary, but is actually another mammal. And that mammal is a beaver. This is Nibbles, but now I'm showing it in full on HD. And the one thing I didn't know about Nibbles is actually a she, considering the fact that the voice sounds more like a he. And I'm gonna say, I hope she plays a big role in Zootopia 2. I don't expect her to join the ZPD anytime soon, because, well, I don't believe there's a very low chance, but it's very nice to see a beaver to be a part of the main cast. And her exchange with this walrus is actually very... Actually, I actually like this one. Check this out. In truth, I really do like her design. And again, hope she plays a role. Though I am going to place a bet. If Nibbles ever become a meaningful character at Disneyland Parks, emphasizing on if she makes an appearance in Disneyland Parks, I will see Pixar's next film, Hoppers, in theaters. Oh, and by the way, I also will be doing my trailer talks on Hoppers, and it will come out when Zootopia 2 gets released. Now we're moving on to the final trailer where both Nick and Judy are wearing these outfits, Foxy Dad and a B Hoppy shirt. Yeah, that's the thing what I like about this, where you get to see both Judy and Nick wearing different clothes, and it actually does feel like they're actually feel like people, which actually succeeds in their jobs as people. Then we get entered to one of the new members of the cast, being the Lynxes. And one of them will be voiced by Andy Samberg. And again, don't make them the main villains of Zootopia 2 again. Like with the horse, I don't want any more twist villains that seems very obvious. Oh, and speaking of the horse, and there's a mayor, Brian King, and Brian the mayor comes back in this scene, and Patrick Warburton being, well, Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove. It's one of the scenes in the final trailer. They actually show what could be in the main part. Oh, and Gazelle also came back as well as a minor character again. But this location right here, it will be discussed in another video once we talk about the lead scenes that could make a comeback in the sequel. And this is one of those very scenes where Judy actually talked to Gary for the very first time that their family is in danger, and now Gary needs their help. Hence why the chasing scene from the teaser. And Nick did a Rapunzel frying pan on Gary. Yeah, Nick is still the comic relief, and Judy's still the main character. So literally, they're not taking more risks right here, which is understandable. Okay, so you know how Maddie, where she is a cute snake, but her cuteness can actually looks very distracting. Here, Gary is not supposed to look that cute, but I later noticed that he doesn't have to look cute. He has to look very appealing, and that's what he did. What Gary's design did better than Maddie's, where he actually looks way more appealing than looking more cute. And I do have sympathy for Gary, though. Actually, now I think about it, you know, there's a lot of Gary characters out there. One is the main character from Final Space. One is SpongeBob's pet. Well, yeah, he is a pet of SpongeBob. And one is an alien from a movie that nobody knows exactly what it is because it's really that forgettable. Oh, there's also this cool lizard that is actually that has a unique design, but it does have a lot of deja vu to, well, one of the mailmans that dog cannot beat from Cat Dog. Until, spoiler alert, he actually did beat this guy. Like from the last two trailers, they keep showing everything, but not showing how it ends. And that's how this film truly succeeds as a film. They show you what's in the movie, but don't show you how it is. Like this location right here, where we don't actually see what's in the entire movie whatsoever. And I actually do applaud for them for, again, not spoiling the ending. What do you expect? This is literally a film about talking anthropomorphic animals that live in the city. So you can expect the unexpected. Sorry if I ever said that. And yes, the characters, like every sequel, the characters from the first film make a return. Chief Pogo makes a return. Finn Nick also makes returns. Gazelle makes a return, like I just said. And yes, the fan favorite Clawhauser, I don't know if he's truly a fan favorite, also made a return. Oh, and by the way, he's becoming a meet and greet character at Disney Park, so stay tuned. And that's all I had to say about Inside Out of Zootopia 2. This could potentially be, well, the next Inside Out. In fact, now I think about it, Zootopia and Inside Out share a lot of similarities, and they do. Featuring two characters, which start with two main characters, both start with the letter J. The partners is the exact opposite of the main character, and both of them won an Oscar for Best Animated Film. I really am looking forward to see Zootopia on the big screen. In fact, I think that if I at the end this day on a good note, I think seeing Zootopia 2 on the big screen would certainly make my day. And I would say that if any of you watching this, I think you should go check this film out once it releases. So, in my own opinion, I hope you like my own trailer analysis, even though it wasn't that good. But I hope I managed to spark some conversation about what I like about these trailers. The characters still remain the same. The animation is still very impressive to this day. And the trailers are really starting to hook me up. So, that's the end of the video. And sorry for the background noises you had to hear. My name is Jim TD, and I bid you all farewell.